Breaking news.
For what is right
Football
in an
sports.
unjust
UEFA
society,
Champions League.
silence
Your
is a crime.
2025
Like,
UEFA Champions
comment,
League
and
winners.
share.
Paris Saint-Germain. PSG. Paris Saint-Germain wins her first ever Champions League in style. Paris St Germain destroy Inter and win the final with the largest margin in Champions League history. France. PSG 5-0 Inter Milan. For a little over a decade, Paris Saint-Germain was a controversial project and a collection of names. It was Zlatan Ibrahimovic and David Beckham, then Neymar, Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. It was a club transformed by money and defined by unflinching ambition. It was many things, but never the one thing it desperately wanted to be. Until Saturday, when PSG, in its very first year without a megastar, became the European champion. PSG stormed past Inter Milan in the 2025 Champions League final. It won 5-0, by more goals than any Champions League finalist ever before. It won as a team, with 4 goals scored or assisted by teenagers, including breakout 19-year-old star Desire Douy. It pressed and possessed the ball, and unlocked Inter in the 12th minute with a gorgeous team goal. Achraf Hakimi drilled in the opener and, in a classy gesture, chose not to celebrate against his former club. Achraf Hakimi opens the scoring for PSG. 8 minutes later, Ousmane Dembele and Douy sped up the field and landed a killer blow on the counterattack. But it was the third goal, in the 63rd minute, that confirmed PSG's supremacy and floored Inter and wowed hundreds of millions of viewers around the world. Dembele rolled a blind, clever ball into the path of Vitinha. Vitinha, PSG's midfield maestro, teed up Douy, and Douy, a team signed last summer in part to replace Mbappe, finished the job. He became the first man to contribute 3 goals or assists in a Champions League final. A 4th goal 10 minutes later, scored by Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, set off crazed celebrations at the Allianz Arena in Munich. And a 5th, scored by 19-year-old sub Seny Mayalou, triggered joyous tears on PSG's bench, then a party in Paris. This, at the pinnacle of soccer, is where PSG's Qatari owners envisioned the club when they bought it in 2011. It's where they tried to take it with billions of dollars, much of it spent on established superstars. They brought in Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva, Lucas Moura and Marco Verratti, Edinson Cavani, David Luiz, Angel Di Maria, Neymar, Messi and Mbappe eventually followed. Every single one of them arrived accompanied by untold hype and astronomical expectations. And every single one left without the prize he came to win, the Champions League. The first wave of stars lost in the quarterfinals, again and again and again. The second reached the final in 2020, but fell short, then regressed to round of 16 flameouts. So, in 2023 and 2024, the super team disassembled. Neymar went to Saudi Arabia, and Messi to Miami, and Mbappe to Real Madrid. And that, at last, is when PSG decided to construct a team rather than a collection of names. It spent nearly $800 million over 2 years, more than any other club in world soccer. But it didn't spend on established stars. Instead, it spent on Dembele and Douy, 20-year-old Bradley Barcola and 19-year-old João Neves, and 22-year-old Willian Pacho. It spent on a brilliant coach, Luis Enrique, who empowered Hakimi, Fabian Ruiz and Vitinha, and stood by Gianluigi Donnarumma through years of criticism, and leaned on Marquinhos, the lone holdover from the early 2010s. And on Saturday, one by one, beneath fluttering confetti, they all lifted PSG's first Champions League trophy. Follow us for daily updates. Happy month of June.